in 2014, 2015, 2016, the last years of the Steven Urquhart era, Omega was neck and neck with Rolex. Like Rolex was selling about, estimate 800,000 watches per year. And 2015, I think, is the last year where we have hard data for Rolex, because the COSC, the chronometer certification body, they were still publishing their numbers. So even though Rolex was not publishing their numbers, just by looking at how many movements they had submitted to COSC and got the chronometer certification, you could very accurately estimate their numbers. And you have those numbers. You have 785,000 to about 800,000 watches. And in the same period, Omega was at about 730,000 watches. So neck and neck with Rolex when it came to the volume. When it came to the revenue, it wasn't, really close, because Omega had really affordable prices, and Rolex was, at a significantly higher average price point per watch. So in terms of revenue, it was still like 5 billion to 2.5 billion, or 4.5 billion to 2.5 billion Swiss francs, something like that. Significantly higher revenue for Rolex. But when it came to the volume, they were neck and neck. And look at what happens now, where, Omega, I'm not even talking about 2025. Let's leave this disastrous year aside for a second. But even before that, if you look at 2024, Rolex has 1.2 million watches per year estimated, and Omega has 600,000. So it went from neck and neck with Rolex to half of Rolex in terms of volume. It doesn't matter how much you increase your prices to, protect your revenue, if your volume is no longer keeping up with your biggest competition. That's not growth. For me, growth, like everybody, when they look at growth for these numbers, for these watch companies, they look at revenue. I don't even care about the revenue. I don't care if you made 2 billion or 10 billion. All that I'm looking at is how many watches you sold. And if you have the same revenue, but you sold half, or 50% less than you sold 5 years ago or a decade ago, you're not in a good position. You're losing market share and your business is shrinking.